Everyone wants to have $1 million. Unless you already have $1 million. Well, I think even the people that have $1 million want more.
It's called greed.
And when I was a kid, I was like, man, what would I do with $1 million? Well, Preston here, he does exactly what I would have wanted to do. We're talking about blank check.
Oh no, she didn't!
We're talking Disney 1994.
Yeah, we were 10 years old.
Basically Preston's age. His bike gets run over by a convict who's escaped prison, gives him a blank check. Preston goes in and cashes it for $1 million.
$1 million.
He opened up the old notepad, spaced out the typing so that it would print perfectly on the check. First shot. So he prints this perfect check, $1 million. Randomly, that's the exact amount that's in the bank for this account.
And Bitterman, who's been talking to Quigley, our convict guy, they had arranged something for the next day.
I'll send my guy in tomorrow with a check for $1 million. Yep, tomorrow, just like the old days. You give him the cash, unmarked, send him on his way.
This is basically a series of very fortunate events for Preston.
Let's examine Preston, shall we?
Oh look! It's Presto the Pesto!
Young child, youngest of 3. Father doesn't treat him that well. Mother, not interested. Big brothers, jerks. Doesn't even get his own room because his brothers take up their space with the computer.
Well, they have a business.
Surprise.
Whoa, check it out.
Yeah, it's for your business.
You figure he would be excited to have a computer in his room. Got him $1 million.
Software in here will teach you how to do everything but make love to a woman.
Now I know what program to get your father for Christmas.
When he brought in the computer, there was already a computer in the foreground that they didn't mention. Like, it looked the exact same.
Yeah, probably a compact Presario.
It was a Macintosh.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah.
Anyone who didn't grow up in the 90s like we did, that's what iMac stands for.
And iMac comes from the marriage of the excitement of the internet with the simplicity of Macintosh.
Internet Macintosh, who knew?
Preston didn't have an iMac, but he did say that his name was Macintosh.
My name is Macintosh.
And this was his new persona, that he would basically just buy a mansion, a castle.
Owned by Robert Rodriguez.
In real life. And so he was just buying all of this stuff. He got a limo driver. He convinced everybody around him that, oh, I'm just a 11-year-old boy working for a millionaire. His name is Macintosh, but I'm the head of this operation, basically.
Ah, Macintosh, yeah. If you don't mind me asking, where does he get his money?
Yeah, and everyone just went with it because you see, when you pay with cash, nobody cares. Cash is king.
I've heard that.
And let's talk about all the cool shit he bought. First thing on his list, he's unhappy at home, he buys a house.
No, first thing on his list was kill his brothers.
So obviously, he's not gonna do that. He's not a psychopath. He goes to buy this mansion. He buys the house, doubles the price. So he buys it for $300,000.
I'd like to make a cash offer on your house.
He's down to $700,000 left. He buys a security system, buys a shit ton of TVs, video games.
Oh, he's got the virtual reality, which they call virtuality. I love that. By the way, at the same time that this came out, those were like the way to do virtual reality. You had to pay like $10 for like 5 minutes. I did it one time, and I'll never forget it. It was the coolest. Way better than Virtual Boy, because that only had red.
Get Tetrisized in a new virtual world. Get 3D Tetris for Virtual Boy.
A 3D game for a 3D world.
So then he buys water slide, pays off a chauffeur. He bought this cool Super Punch-Out arcade machine. Yeah.
He's got go-karts. He's got inflatable shit.
Human bowling thing.
The human bowling thing kind of looks shit. I'm gonna be honest. All you're doing is just sitting in a ball and being pushed around.
I think he didn't set it up properly. I think A, it had to be further. Probably you needed to be uphill and then roll down and try and control yourself to hit the pins. But he's a kid.
It was all to set up like the end gag of the movie.
This was after Home Alone, right? So like naturally you need all these things so you can, trick the bad guys.
Yeah, so when the bad guys come, all of these items are reintroduced.
It's time for a little batting practice.
We have Tone Loc playing Juice.
I got him strolled over to the other side of the cantina. I asked the guy why you so fly. He said funky Cole Medina.
So he buys the cool shit. How much do you think that cost? Because remember, he's already down $300,000. Also bought a bunch of clothes and shit.
The clothes were from Roots. They're like $40 for like a hoodie. So I'm gonna say very most 100 grand.
In 1994 for sure. Let's even say 150. So he's down to like 450. Even let's say half. Throws a party, $100,000.
That he can't afford.
But where did the rest of the money go? I bet half just blew out his fucking backpack as he's riding his bike around.
Oh, you want the backpack? Here you go. I'm gonna keep this rack and I'm gonna go buy a bunch of hookers and blow.
That's what Blank Check 2 is about.
You're giving $1 million tomorrow. What do you buy? As an 11-year-old.
Oh, as an 11-year-old? I'm just gonna eat pizza, drink pop, play video games, go to Disney World, and probably just go back to school. I'm a real realistic kid. What else do you really want?
I don't know, those moon boots, remember those?
Moon shoes, jumping up and down like a kangaroo. From the creators of Squiggle Wiggle Riders and Squiggle Ball.
Probably go to WrestleMania. Every kid likes
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Of course. Hulk Hogan's running wild on you, and you're gonna get past mania, brother.
Pasta mania has got all my Hulkamaniacs running wild.
That's what kids want.
I fucking love SpaghettiOs.
So you're just gonna get a bunch of that.
In 1994, I was into comic books and shit. I'd probably buy a shit ton of comic books. I'd probably buy a bunch of action figures. I think at this exact time was right after I started smoking. So I'd probably buy like a shit ton of cigarettes. I was buying it from a guy named BJ. He would sell me 5 in a cassette case for $5. Imagine having a single pack of cigarettes, let alone cartons. I would be smoking up a storm.
Probably start drinking.
Oh, I'd be drinking heavily. I mean, I started only a couple years after this, and it's not because of my disinterest in it at 11. It's the lack of money. I'm surprised I even made it this far. So I'm just starting my downfall early. I definitely upgrade from the Super Soaker 50 to the Super Soaker 200 that we see in this movie.
I think it was higher than the 200.
This is like talking about, what's your favorite alcohol? Oh, because you've never seen Louis. If I was 37 years old and I had $1 million, Black Pearl, that's what I'm getting. One item at your age now for $1 million.
If I can only buy one thing with $1 million, I'm buying something that costs $1 million.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was gonna go with that $2,000 shot.
Yeah, it's like, take the rest of the money back. I'm good with this.
That's one hell of a tip.
If I could spend $1 million, let's say in 6 days, I'm renting a yacht, calling the boys, we're just gonna go on a cruise down in the Caribbean on the yacht. And once we're done, there's no money left because we've drank it all. Other things we won't talk about on YouTubes.
I'm one of the boys?
Yeah, of course. Remember when Batman was going to Hong Kong, The Dark Knight, and it was just him, all the ballerinas, and Alfred? That's what our week will be like.
You'll be alright without me?
If you can tell me to rush in for apply your own bloody suntan lotion.
Now, there is a darker part of this movie. There's a woman at a bank. Shay shows a lot of interest in little Preston. She basically has some chemistry with this young boy, and it's weird. Well, she is technically an FBI agent that is trying to figure out where's this money coming from this bank. Like, there's some problems going on at this bank. She immediately likes this kid for some reason.
I'll see you next time.
I hope it's not in a million years.
Bye-bye.
And then they end up going on a date, even if under false pretenses to some degree.
I had such a good time.
Me too.
Good night, Preston.
There are like a couple moments where she's like, I'm into this kid. They have a great time, they're holding hands, they're running through water fountains and shit. And she kisses him on the lips.
Felt like what we would call today like grooming. He was 11 and she's like,
Why don't you give me a call in, say, about 10 years?
5.
7.
6.
Okay.
Like, so she's basically just, hey, I already like you and I anticipate liking you more later. When you're 17 years old, we can officially bang. She kissed the boy.
She liked it.
Yeah, well, I guess Mr. McIntosh, he knows a good man when he sees one.
But like, you can't just talk about kissing girls and kissing boys that are underage.
At the time, there wasn't this big controversy.
No, everyone's like, you go get him, Tiger.
Get yourself a great body, some nice hair, some good clothes, a car, and learn to say words like non-committal. You are a date and a half, pal.
Before, we didn't really think of it as something that like affected the younger males as much. Let's make it clear. We think it's wrong.
So we watched this on Disney Plus. They edit Simpsons episodes for less than this. Yet this is a grown woman who is grooming this boy.
But is it fair to say grooming? Because she was just like, yeah, maybe in 11 years, and then she's piecing out.
Then don't kiss him on the mouth.
There's no tongue.
Okay, tongue is what makes it.
Yeah, like she just put his lips on there.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
I can't.
Don't say that sentence. If it was done in a way where she was just like kind of getting to be a kid again because they went to like go-karts and mini putt and like weren't holding hands and frolicking through the water, cool. I can get that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
She enjoyed the company of a younger child, and it was wrong. I'm saying what happened, she shouldn't have kissed the little boy. There is no world in which she should have kissed that little boy.
But should she have said, holler at me in 7 years?
Yeah, but like assuming at that point,
6 years.
She just left, right? She just said it and left. Like just gave the little kid something nice, he had a rough day, be like, oh, I got a pretty lady waiting for him.
I remember girls that I was like hitting on way back in the day that said, if I'm not married by this date, then we will get married.
They turned all that to be liars, didn't they? I'm not gonna end up with this loser. I'll just give him hope for a couple of years.
Thousands of tears later.
The movie's fun. Go watch it again. Grab some popcorn. Show your young kids this movie.
Yeah, they'll probably like it. They'll overlook the weird stuff and they'll enjoy the fun stuff.
And then ask them what they would spend with $1 million if they had it.
This is one of those movies that's basically built for exactly that question. What would you do with $1 million?
At the end of the day, controversy or not, it's an enjoyable movie. I think it's meaningfully innocent. I think it's a good family film. Surprisingly holds up. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 crawdads out of 5.
They look like lobsters, only weenie.
I have to agree, I had a blast revisiting this. It was fun. It was weird at times, 100%.
You ever heard that more than one way to skin a cat? Have you heard that one? There is only one way to skin a cat. You grab the cat, you rip the skin off the cat.
But despite talking about it for as long as we did, I don't think it was that big of a deal, to be honest. So I'm gonna give this 3 sharp-looking bow ties out of 5. As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, it's on Disney+. I'm sure you can check it out elsewhere. But what you can't check out elsewhere is our videos. So you have to subscribe to Bloodbath TV to stay up to date. We got good shit here, man.
Later, toads.